Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be another First Impressions video. In today's First Impressions video, we are taking a look at the QVO Tactical Wingman holster. And before we get this video started, as always, guys, I wanted to let you know how you can support everything that I do here on Firearm Freedom. As you could imagine, YouTube is constantly shadow banning and hiding gun content here on the platform. So by commenting down below, letting me know what you think of this video, how I can make it better, what you guys want to see next, really does help defeat the YouTube algorithms. Of course, hitting that subscribe button, ringing the bell, hitting the like button, and sharing the video around helps me make sure that everybody that wants to see this video is actually seeing it. So all of that support is greatly appreciated. And if you guys are looking for a way to actually donate to the channel and support what I do, you can check out the links down in the description to the Firearm Freedom merchandise store and also the Firearm Freedom Subscribe Star account. You guys know I have been rocking the TRex Arms Sidecar for almost 5 years now. And in that sidecar, I have been running my HK VP9. Now, as you guys have seen, my HK VP9 started its life as the standard LE model. Obviously, as you can see here, it is no longer the standard LE model, and I've done a few modifications to it. I got the standard optics cut slide, threw on an X300 Ultra, and threw on the RMR. And that optics cut slide and also the X300 Ultra is going to change the holster setup that you're going to be running, obviously, with the light. I was able to actually modify my original sidecar to accept the RMR or the optics cut on the slide. Nowadays, TRex Arms actually cuts all of their sidecars for an optics ready slide. I have a much older sidecar and I had to actually just Dremel out a little bit of material to make that optic fit, and it worked out well. But I did not have a light compatible sidecar. I actually went to TRex Arms website more recently to get a light compatible sidecar, and I realized that they were actually discontinuing not only the HK VP9, but a bunch of other different models from their sidecar lineups for the light compatible and non-light compatible because of production issues. When I realized I was not going to be picking up a light compatible sidecar, I started looking around for other options, and I stumbled across QVO Tactical. I actually heard of QVO Tactical a few other times for various holsters that they made. So, full disclosure, as always, I did actually reach out to QVO Tactical, and I wanted to see if they would be willing to work with the Firearm Freedom channel in allowing me to check out the Wingman holster for a review. I actually spoke to Roger over there, who is the owner of QVO Tactical. Super nice guy. It was actually really awesome, the customer service that they gave me. They weren't requesting that I do any sort of a positive review. They just wanted to see how I liked their holster, how it compared to the sidecar, and what my thoughts were. They did send me this holster for free to check out, and I was super happy with that. I'm excited to try out just a little bit of a different holster from the sidecar because I've been rocking the sidecar for so long, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it definitely took a lot for me to branch out. Once you've been carrying a holster like that for that many years, it starts getting really hard to trust other options because you just trust that option that you have for so long. At this point, I've been carrying the QVO Wingman now for almost about 60 hours total. I work at a gun shop, and generally those are 8-hour days, and I'm wearing it before and after the gun shop for an hour or two as well. So with that, I am able to really see very quickly, with a lot of hours on a specific holster, what I think of it. The really cool thing that I realized right off the bat with QVO Tactical is they offer more options than I have ever seen on a holster making website, which is impressive. I threw them a massive curveball with this holster. Would have been super easy if I threw them like a standard Glock 19 with a light or something like that. But of course, I had to be extra and throw a wrench in the whole thing with an HK VP9 and an optic on top. Not a lot of folks are running an optic because of HK making it ridiculously difficult to actually find an optics plate If you guys want to see more on this pistol, you can click the card up in the right-hand corner of your screen, and I just recently did an upgrades video on this VP9. So I'm not going to go too far into the upgrades, but not many people are running this setup. They have a ridiculous amount of options for just various handguns and holsters that they make for them and light combinations. I saw that not only do they make a light compatible VP9 holster, but all their holsters are cut for the optics, so that was another huge plus. And then the small little changes that you could make to the holster itself. They actually have these metal carry clip options. These are the discrete carry clip, and these get the holster far more tucked into your body. And then on top of that, they also offer a metal claw here on the side. You can go with polymer as well. This metal claw is super hardcore. It is not going to give you any sort of a give or anything like that. This holster does not move when it is on your body. As my spare mag, I am also rocking an HK factory 20 round magazine. You can see that actually fits really nicely. It is a little bit high, but it is easy to grab onto, and obviously a standard 17 round magazine or 15 would fit in there just fine. Now, I do have a threaded barrel on there, and when the gun is in the holster, I did get the threaded barrel option so that it would be shrouded here, so that threaded barrel is not going to be hitting your leg or anything like that. Where that matters is when you're actually shooting with the gun at the range. It's going to give you a little bit more heat protection, but obviously keep in mind there is also going to be a little bit more Kydex there, and that is obviously going to play a role in comfort. I have worked with Kydex a little bit in the past. I made and kind of dabbled with a few different holsters at some previous gun shops that I work at. So I am by no means any sort of an expert in Kydex, but I know how difficult it is to get a good fit with a thick light like the X300 Ultra in Kydex. It is very, very difficult to get a good fit. A lot of the times you're either far too loose, far too tight, the draw is messed up, you have a little bit of side-to-side wobble. There's a lot of things that can really start happening when you add a light on a pistol and you're working with Kydex. Guys, I gotta say, the QVO setup has probably the best fit for a light on a pistol that I have seen yet with Kydex. There is absolutely no side-to-side movement. Once you get the gun actually holstered, you have a super positive click into retention, and the RMR is actually, it's almost barely making contact with the Kydex on the mag carrier, but it's the perfect amount of contact. You're not getting too much that it's actually pushing the gun out. It's not damaging the RMR at all. It's like perfectly touching it, so it's actually not a big deal at all. And then on top of that, you're gonna notice that my hand really easily grabs onto the pistol right where it needs to be. My middle finger gets right up underneath the trigger guard without issue. A lot of other Kydex holsters, you can run into problems where your finger is actually butting up against the Kydex, so when you go to draw, that becomes an issue. In this, it is perfect. So I gotta give it to QVO. I threw them a super difficult holster to make, and the fitment on this thing is awesome. I have absolutely no complaints with that. And the other thing that I will say is with the discrete carry, the metal clips on here on the front, this is my first experience with metal clips. I've always been running polymer clips and a polymer claw here on the side. And with the mixture of this metal claw and the metal clips, this holster does not move. It does not shift side to side. It does not shift up or down. This thing is solid. So what that is going to lead to at the range is draws are super, super nice, super crisp, fast. You're not having a lot of issues with the holster shifting and the gun not being in the exact same place every single time. This is going to also lead us to comfort. How comfortable is this holster? The one thing you need to understand is whenever you go with a light compatible option, especially with a light option that goes further down than the actual barrel itself, even with a threaded barrel, the X300 is actually passing below that threaded barrel, you are going to run into a less comfortable holster. So this holster is definitely not the most comfortable holster that I have, and that's something to be aware of. Whenever you go with a light compatible appendix holster, it is by no means going to be an easy holster to conceal. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for the absolute most comfortable holster, especially in appendix, light compatible is not going to be what you want to go with. I've been carrying appendix now for almost 6 years, and I have gotten very used to there being a large gun up in the front of me, so it wasn't as big of a switch to the light compatible option. The one note that I will make to QVO Tactical, and this is also going to tie into comfort, is I believe they could absolutely cut off a lot of this excess Kydex here on the side. If you turn the holster around, you can see that you have a really large amount of unused Kydex here on the side. And what that is going to lead to in my almost 60 hours now of carrying this holster is a little bit of a comfort issue when it comes to your thighs. Depending on the size of your thighs or your legs, you are going to run into a problem of sometimes your quads wanting to actually run into the Kydex on either side. If they trimmed this area just a little bit more, made it a little bit tighter to the actual gun itself, or maybe trimmed down the sides a little bit, and then just simply moved the clips in so that they were a little bit more towards the center of the holster itself, I think you would have a way more comfortable setup. Other than that, when you're actually standing, comfort is actually awesome. There is no issues at all standing, and it feels great. It actually has far less movement than my Sidecar, and that is a huge plus. It's actually far more concealable as well, I have found, because the metal claw just sucks that gun right up to your body. And you guys are probably going to be seeing some back roll footage throughout this, comparing the Wingman to the Sidecar in different outfits when I'm talking concealability, and I really have to say that it is noticeable how much more concealable it is because of the metal claw. This thing has no give. I mean, it is to the point where I feel like it's actually about to be like ripping my pants. The claw is pushing against my waistband so hard, and I actually don't mind that because it makes the gun far more concealable. Now that I'm rocking, again, this holster for almost 60 hours, I'm already getting used to that extra layer of Kydex on the side. And the one thing that I have noticed is with my Sidecar, I actually kind of have it almost off center in my waistband, and you guys are going to be seeing that in back roll right now. And with the QVO Tactical Wingman, as far as comfort, you really have to play around with it. I actually found that having my right side clip almost on the buckle of my pants, right dead center in the middle, so that the barrel is pretty much lined up exactly 12 o'clock. I am experiencing a lot more comfort than if I'm off to the side. If you're off to the side at all, if the barrel is not right at 12 o'clock, at least for me, I was really noticing the extra Kydex, and that became an issue with comfort. Of course, the other thing when it comes to comfort is just adjusting the clips. I have not really adjusted the height of the clips yet, and that is definitely something that I'm still going to be messing with in the future. So I may find that after I adjust the clips a little bit, that added piece of Kydex is not an issue at all. So I will definitely report back to you guys on how I am liking the comfort after I've adjusted the clips in the full review video of this holster. As far as the color options that I went with this awesome Cordura fabric overlay on the front, and this is going to be the black multicam. And then as far as for Kydex in the rear, I went with their neon green Kydex. Thought it was a cool color scheme. Generally, I go with a very bright neon piece of Kydex in the rear of the holster because it makes it a little bit easier if I'm looking down, maybe it's a little bit dark out, whatever, and I'm trying to reholster my gun. I can much more easily see where the back of the holster is, where the front of the holster is, and I find it just makes reholstering a little bit easier. But ultimately, it's just a personal preference thing. That is pretty much going to wrap this video up on the QVO Wingman. If you have any other questions about the Wingman holster or anything else on my channel, feel free to throw them down below in the comment section, and you guys know I absolutely will get back to you. While you're down there, head up to the description and check out the links to the Firearm Freedom Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account. I have daily posts going out on all 3 of those accounts that you guys are not going to want to miss. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more great videos to come soon.